Hi there, everyone. Erin Lee here of heavenlymessenger.com, bringing you this week's Connection with Intention. First of all, thank you so much for joining me. Oops, it's always a pleasure connecting with you, and I'm grateful for the time that you take out of your day to be here with me, especially since I do the Tuesday nights on really short notice. And there are a couple of reasons for that. One, it depends on whether or not I have the energy to come on live, but also because I get a whole pile of spammers if I post too far in advance. So by only posting a couple of hours in advance, we usually head off a lot of the spammers until later in the show, and then I just have to go through and bypass them. So just as a quick reminder, I will never solicit you for readings. If you want to come for a reading, I'd love to connect with you. Go to my website, book a reading. I will never message you, and I'll never ask you to message me to set up a reading. So there we go. So there's lots that's going on right now. I've been sitting here in the last hour and a half since I scheduled tonight's show. My energy dropped, and I found myself getting really cranky and really irritable. And I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? What's happening? And oh, we have a little bit of fluff floating by. It's one of the fun things about being outside. Um, and I asked myself, so what the heck's going on? And I realized that I had some boundaries that were crossed and pushed today, and it reminded me about the importance of boundaries. And so I thought we'd talk about that a little bit today. So, the idea of boundaries it's really evolving, which I'm really excited to see. It used to be that when we set up a boundary, the expectation that we had was that the other person would fall into line with whatever the boundary was that we were setting for them. And oh, I forgot to put this. I know that we've got some comments coming through. And I'm just going to put up, guys, hold on to your questions just for a moment, because then we can get to them. And I'll say hello to everyone too. So we used to think that that was something that people would just have to follow, and we just kind of put it out there. Hey, I have this boundary, and you can't cross it. When in actual fact, boundaries are for us. Boundaries are, recognizing when something has gone too far and it's no longer healthy or appropriate for us. Now, hopefully, this is something we can have a conversation with the other person or the other party about in order to come to a resolution. But really, it's about us and about what our actions are going to be. If someone or something comes up against a boundary for you, how are you going to act? How are you going to react? Is this a conversation that you can have and that you can open? Do you need to remove yourself? Do you need to change your behavior in some way? And, I actually see looking at boundaries from that perspective as being so much more empowering because, yes, we hope that behavior and interaction will change so that, we're not coming up against boundaries. But at the end of the day, the onus is then on us and the power is then on us in order to make change, to come into place of greater comfort. And then I asked myself, what the heck else is going on right now? And I realized that we've got the full moon coming up this weekend, and the full moon is incredibly powerful. What it does is it helps to bring things up to the surface. It illuminates what is usually in darkness, and it shows us what's going on, what's happening underneath. And so the full moon tends to be a time when emotions are coming up, things that aren't working or that aren't functioning the way that we would want them to. Everything starts to come to the surface. And we have this really awesome opportunity if we choose to take it to say, hey, look, there are these things that are coming up. They're coming up for a reason. I can do something about this. I can address this. Or we can allow things to just spiral us out of control, get super grumpy, which is the route that I was just on. and and we can stay in that grump. And I think most of us, if we're consciously choosing, would say, hey, I would like to see how this is an opportunity to improve the experience that I'm having, to improve my life, to improve my well-being, improve my relationships, improve the situations that I'm in. So I encourage you over the next couple of days as we head into that full moon energy to pay attention. Are there things that are kind of irking you? Are you more maybe emotionally charged around circumstances or situations that you're in? Is there something that you can do to be proactive about the experience that you're having so that it has a more positive impact for you. So that's an encouragement for the next couple of days, as I said, as we head into that full moon energy. All right, I'm going to go to the comments and just say hello. Hello to Ange. It's great to see you. And Margaret, welcome. Thanks for hopping on. Hello, Robin. Yeah, Ange is saying that the energy has been really crazy. Oh, but good. I'm glad to see that. That's awesome. And Ange also says that it's been a topic for me lately as I'm tapping more into my gifts and doing more readings. That's awesome. Really exciting. Yeah, it's interesting. The more that you are actively connecting with your intuition, the more that you will notice things on a subtle level, and the greater the impact that they'll have on you. Where maybe before you needed a sledgehammer to hit you in the face, now maybe just a little gentle tap on the shoulder is what you need to realize that there's something going on. Yeah, and Margaret's also experiencing the full moon energy too. Lacey, it's so good to see you. I miss you too. That would be awesome. Lacey's away right now and hoping that we can reconnect. Absolutely. I've been thinking about Reiki Share a lot lately, and I'd love to connect with Reiki Share again. So that or just personal visit would be great too. Awesome. And Tia, it's so good to see you. Hi, welcome. Okay, so I do want to make sure that we have lots of time to get to questions, but I also want to make sure that we do the Choose Your Crystal Adventure so that everybody has the opportunity for a reading. And I have 2 slides up. So tell me right now, put out the energy. Should we put up slide 1 or slide 2? So 3, 2, 1. Send me the energy of slide 1 or slide 2. Okay. If you chose slide 1, that's the one that I'm hearing too. Okay, so the crystal choices that we have for this evening are obsidian, rose quartz, and clear quartz. So take a moment. Maybe you have a question that you'd like to ask, and you're welcome to ask more than one question. We can put the intention out there. What do I need to know? What do I need to know about this situation? What do I need to know about this relationship? What do I need to know to further my growth and development? Whatever your question is, you can ask something really specific or something really open-ended. And once you have your question, ask which crystal is going to represent the answer that you are looking for. I just had the obsidian card pop out. So just take a moment and breathe. And as I said, you're welcome to choose as many questions and as many crystals as you would like. All right. So I just brought the one deck out with me this evening. We've got the Archangel Oracle card deck. So hopefully you've chosen your crystal. And I've chosen the cards. And so if you've chosen the obsidian crystal, the message, I love this. The message for you today is brilliant idea. And this is Archangel Uriel. His message is, yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. Not only are we talking about ideas and the fact that, yes, there's a lot of forward movement, there's a lot that's happening, a lot that's going on, but this is also a card of clear cognizance. So clear cognizance is one of the 4 primary ways that we receive intuitive messages and information. It's literally clear knowing when thoughts and ideas just pop into your head. And it can be a bit of a challenge paying attention to ideas that just pop in because they seem like they're common sense. It seems like it's something that everybody knows. And it can also feel like your natural thought process. So if you have ideas that are popping into your head and you're questioning the validity of these ideas, ask yourself, 1, does this take me closer or further away from my truth, my path, what I'm wanting to focus on and what I'm wanting to do? Is this something that excites me? Is this something that feels like there is more that's going on behind it? So if you chose obsidian, take some time to contemplate the situation that you're in and allow yourself to be open to ideas popping in. But know that whatever it is that you're thinking about or that you're planning on within this current situation, the encouragement is to take action with it. I'm also hearing to check in on an emotional level too. So make sure that you're asking yourself, how do I feel about this? And one of the things I'd encourage you to do is to be really honest with yourself. Sometimes even our own internal dialogue says things like, oh, well, I should really take this, and this into consideration, or I feel this way, but I really shouldn't feel this way. No, when you're having conversations like this, your feelings are what you need to focus on, because that's an indicator of the path that you need to take. So make sure that you're asking yourself and you're being honest with yourself, and not whitewashing or spiritually bypassing things, but allow yourself to feel it and allow that to be part of the decision-making process. Okay, if you chose the rose quartz, that was the card, the one in the middle. I love this. The card that we have here is Archangel Jeremiah with All Is Well. And I love this because the energy of it is, it's just a big swirl, like everything is okay. Everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to, with hidden blessings you will soon understand. So often this card comes up, one, if we've been experiencing some difficulty in the situation that we're asking about. And basically what this card is saying, hey, everything is okay. Often it will also come up when we're getting close to a resolution, or we're getting close to the finish, and we've been putting lots of energy into it, and maybe we're getting tired, or we're getting a little bit frustrated, or we're having a difficult time continuing to see that the end is in sight, because we feel like we have so much more to go. And that last little stretch is actually not as challenging as it seems. So pause, take a couple of breaths, but know that there is resolution that's coming with this, and allow yourself to breathe, to take some time. This can also be encouragement to not hyper focus on the question or the area that you've asked about, because sometimes, again, when we've been putting lots of energy into something, we can become so involved and so overly invested in it that we don't allow ourselves to relax and to focus on anything else. And life becomes incredibly unbalanced. And we need to maintain balance for things to continue moving forward. And once the resolution comes, we don't want to be really lopsided like this. We want to give ourselves the opportunity to come into resolution coming from a place of balance. So this is a really positive card. It's very uplifting. And take your time and relax, because everything is happening as it needs to. If you chose the clear quartz crystal, oh, I love this one. The card that we have here, is Hello from Heaven. And this is Archangel Azrael. This is the mediumship card in the deck. And the message is, your loved ones in heaven are doing fine. Let go of worries and feel their loving blessings. So there are lots of different ways that this card can come up and have meaning and significance. If you were asking about a loved one who has crossed over, this is letting you know that, hey, they're with you, they love you, they're helping and supporting you. There's no need for forgiveness or healing from their perspective. You're good, they're good, and don't worry about it. It can also mean that they're around helping and supporting you in whatever challenge it is that you're working on and you're focusing on right now. Know that you aren't alone. And in addition to your loved ones being around, Archangel Azrael is incredibly helpful when it comes to healing the heart, and processing grief. And grief is something that we experience on all different levels. We can obviously we experience grief when a loved one passes. We can experience grief at the end of like a job or a career, or not getting a job. We can experience grief at the end of relationships, at the ends of friendships, partnerships, anything where we have invested ourselves, where we've seen a future, where we've worked towards a future, and that's not coming to fruition anymore for whatever reason. So Archangel Azrael can really help us and support us with grief as well. So if, the deceased loved one doesn't make a lot of sense for you, then part of what this card can be saying is, hey, we might need to be looking at things from a slightly different perspective. It could be that the long-term goal and vision as you're seeing it isn't coming to fruition, and there might be some healing that we need to do around that. So take some time and don't push yourself, but open yourself to other options, other opportunities, and know that you're being helped and supported through that. Awesome. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that we had an opportunity to check out those cards. Thank you. Let's do a check-in. Oh, and slide two, slide two. Thanks, Tia. Hello, Melina. It's great to see you. And I see, oh, and Bambi, wonderful to see you too. Yeah, hold on just a second. Just a second, Bambi. I'm just going to open it up to comments coming in. You know what? We haven't had anybody else comment, so I will take your question. So you are now able to ask a question. I only have one deck of cards with me this evening, so everybody's going to get a message from the Archangel Oracle card deck. If you have a question, please be specific. I don't do, can you pull a card for me, or do you have a message for me? Ask me something specific so I have something to bite into, because I only have a couple of minutes with each person. And I think I saw a message there from Lacey as well. Lacey, awesome. It's Lacey saying that it all fits. Yeah, they all kind of went really well together, which is awesome. Okay, Bambi, let's see. Bambi says, I have been working on building my business for several years, have great pending transactions currently, and would like to know if it will finally pay off with all the energy and positive vibes we have put into this. Whew. Yeah. Okay. So yes, the overall answer to your question is yes. Things are coming together. Things will pay off, but I'm seeing a little bit kind of hiccups, and it reminds me of the hiccups that I would go through when I was learning to drive standard. It was kind of, and then I would go. And it feels like that's part of what you're experiencing or part of what you're coming into. Yes, the business is coming together. It does feel like it's going to be fruitful, but it feels like you still have a little bit of this bumpy feeling that's coming up. And there's part of me that's wanting to hold on to something before I completely let it go. And this would remind me, say, if people were still working other jobs while they were waiting for the business to take off, hold on to the jobs for just a little bit longer, because you're going to want to have that financial support, stability, and peace of mind before the business really takes over and allows you to relax into it. But it is feeling positive. The other feeling that I have is that you're currently on like this path, this track here, which feels great, but I'm seeing something that's kind of taking you in a slightly different direction. Like you're kind of going like this. It reminds me of a tree that grows and there are different branches that kind of break off, branch out. And I'm wanting to explore this other thing as well. So the main part of the business still working, still functioning. But there's something else that I want to encourage you to put a bit of energy into. It's part of the same tree. So it's part of the same industry, the same work that you're doing. But it feels like possibly you're specializing in something, or you're offering something slightly different that's possibly working with a different market. But yes, it is coming together. And September is also feeling like a significant time. It feels like at that point we have overcome the little hiccups and everything is flowing really well. So you're on the right track and things are coming together beautifully. This is interesting. So we've got Archangel Azrael popping up again. So his message is counselor. You are a natural counselor, and many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. And I mean, that does feel like that's true, but actually the message that I have coming up really strongly is that part of what might help you to take off or to find that stability is connecting with somebody who is either in the industry or has awareness around the business that you're in specifically, because it feels like there might be a couple of little bumps that you're experiencing that could benefit from additional experience and understanding. So keep an eye out for an opportunity for that. This feels like this is coming up from a financial perspective. So it may not be somebody who's specifically in the industry that you're in. We could be looking at like an accountant or a bookkeeper, something kind of along those lines. And it feels like we might be, it could even go into how you're paid or time schedules when you're paid, but there's something that's coming up from a financial perspective that if you look into that now, get some help and support, then everything becomes really smooth. Bambi, it was such a pleasure connecting with you. I'm so glad that you joined us today. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love, support, and abundance your way. Awesome. Okay. So, Ange, we've got Ange here. Thanks for joining us. Wondering if my mom will fly me out to see him soon. Okay, let's take a look. Um, so as soon as I ask about that, she's showing me pilot wings, on their uniforms, and they've got the little wings on their chest or shoulders. So, sorry, I'm kind of out of the screen here. That's what she's showing me. So I'm going to say that she's working really hard. And the sense that I have is that the flight may come through in the form of like an additional pass, or my mom used to work at Air Canada, and they would have like passes and vouchers that they would get in order to be able to fly. So it feels like the way that this is coming through is through some sort of like free opportunity, some sort of coupon or voucher. So keep an eye out for that. This may be coming from a partner. It could also be coming from a family member. That one's a little sketchy. Or it could be coming from a friend or a social connection. So keep an eye out. Oh, and also like Facebook Marketplace just kind of popped in the Comox Valley here. We have lots of buy, sell, and trade groups, and sometimes people will throw up vouchers that they've won or that are about to expire. So keep an eye out for things like that, because it feels like that's part of how she's able to help you. And I was going to say she's showing me June. That feels really close. I was going to say July, August, but keep an eye out for something coming up this month. All right, let's take a look and see what message your mom has for us. The comfort card. Okay, we have to talk about this because this is the third Archangel Azrael card to come up out of the 5 that we've pulled today. So Archangel Azrael, first of all, as we've mentioned, is the angel who works with our deceased loved ones on the other side. So definitely coming up from the perspective of wanting to help and support. His message here: I am helping you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. And you know what? Actually, I pulled a card for myself before we started, and it was this card with Archangel Azrael. So in a moment, we will talk about him because he's obviously very present and wanting to come through and to talk. So for you, Ange, in terms of this card, I see this as validation that your mom is with you. She's helping you and she's supporting you, but also coming through with possibly a bit of heartache as well. So I do see her working to help you. I do see that there is something that's coming together, but it feels like there might be a bit of heartache that comes with it. So call on Archangel Azrael, ask him for help and support. And it feels like you can do that proactively. So even before you're in the situation where your heart is feeling hurt, ask him for help and support with healing. It's always a pleasure connecting with you, Ange. I'm so glad that you joined us. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way, and lots of pilot wings and angel wings too. So yeah, let's just take a moment and ask what Archangel Azrael is coming through, because that's really significant that 3 of his cards, so there are 45 cards, all 3 of his cards have come out in the 5 cards that we've pulled today. And this feels actually like I'm not the only one who's feeling a little heartache right now. So let's take a moment. We'll call in Archangel Azrael. We'll ask him for help and support. And if you're feeling the need for a little bit of extra heart love right now, pull that in, bring that in for yourself. If you're not feeling it, that's okay. You can either bring it in and hold on to it for the future, or you can choose to amplify it for others who may need it. You can send it to somebody that you love as well. So let's just take a moment. If it's comfortable, push your hand over your heart and take a moment to breathe. And first of all, we'll connect with the energy of Archangel Azrael, and we'll thank him for being here, for connecting with us this evening, for letting us know so clearly that he is around, that he is helping us, that he is supporting us. And let's ask him to take any of the pain, the challenge, and the discomfort that you may be feeling and experiencing in your heart. Ask for some help and support in emotional healing and love. Coming into a place where you're able to move on and to move forward. If there's something that you need to let go of, ask for his help and support in letting it go so that, again, you can move forward. And if there's more that needs to be processed, ask for his help, love, and support in continuing that process over the next couple of days to come into a place where you are able to release. And we'll just take a moment to breathe here, to breathe in the feelings of unconditional love and support, recognizing that this is one of the many ways that our angels can help us and support us. And if at any point over the next couple of days, as you're processing and releasing, you can always access his help by just saying, Archangel Azrael, it's spelled Azrael, please help me. There's a lot that's heavy on my heart, and I'd love your support. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Let's see. So we've got Tia here. Hi, Tia. Thanks for joining us. Tia's saying, oh, cool. I'm looking out for an email from you. That's awesome. Please tell me if I should stay hopeful that something romantic is going to happen with Tim. It feels stagnant. He's still hard to read and keeps it super professional. Yeah, I've spoken with Tia about this, and I've been actually wondering and thinking about it. So I'm glad that you've asked. So when I tap into him, he's showing me that he's flip-flopping back and forth, not around you, but around other things that are happening in his life, in his world. And he's also showing me that there's something that he is working against or fighting against. It's really interesting that the word against has come up, because I would usually say, working through something, but for him, it feels like it's an internal struggle and a bit of an internal battle. And I wonder if that's the professionalism that you've identified that he is working through or working around. Like, how can I come into balance with this? I want to encourage you to stick with it a little bit longer. When we're not receiving the cues from the people that we're interested in, I think that it is always important to react and to invest to the level that the other person is investing, especially if we've been involved or have been interested in throwing it out there for a little while. I think that it's important to not overinvest until they start investing back. But at the same time, I do feel an openness that's happening there. I want to encourage you to keep other options open, but I feel like there's still something that's coming with this. So breathe, relax, enjoy. I do see opportunity for a bit of flirtatious banter coming up over the next couple of weeks. And if I'm correct, because I know that Tia is in the school system, we don't have that much longer in the school year. And I'm seeing you shooting your shot towards the end of the year if nothing has happened. And it feels like you're putting it out there on the line. And part of that comes with a feeling of relaxation. You know what? I was interested and invested and I put it out there. It was nothing more that I could do. So now I'm either able to move forward with it because it's produced results, or I'm able to completely let it go and move on to someone else. But I still have a lot of hope that's coming up here for it, and it's not feeling finished yet. So keep things open and see what comes up. Interesting. The card that we have here is Archangel Sandalphon, and his message is gentleness. Be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. And that might also have to do with the person that you're connecting with. That part of the approach that he kind of works with is something that's a little more gentle. At the same point, I'm wanting to encourage you to be yourself, to be vivacious and energetic, and to put yourself out there. But if you're able to do it in a way that is gentle, and also be aware of the energy in the conversations that the two of you share. So if, for example, one of the things that you share and you bond over is frustration, shared frustrations, maybe see about shifting the conversation into something that is engaging in a positive way. And in that way, you can be one of the people in his sphere that is offering something that is gentle, that is open, that's supportive, that he doesn't need to fight against. And that's where that against is coming in. Don't be something that's contributing to a fight and a challenge. Be something that is, or someone rather, who is contributing to something positive and engaging and uplifting. And I'm also hearing celebratory as well. Tia, it's always a pleasure connecting with you. I'm so glad that you joined us. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love, and support your way. Awesome. Did we pull a card for you? Oh, yeah, we pulled gentleness. Okay, good. All right, Lacey, let's take a look and see. Lacey's asking, oh, Lacey, my heart. Lacey's asking, does my dad want to come home one more time, or is he okay to go to the spot we decided? My heart is going out to you. Let's take a look and check in. I'm really appreciating your dad's energy as it's coming through. First of all, I feel like I have a lot of laughter. I feel like I have a lot of joy, and I keep going into my chest. I feel like something significant has been lifted off of my chest, and my God, what a relief. Excuse my language. When I ask him about where he wants to go, does he want to go home one more time? And he says that home isn't a physical place. It's not a physical place for him anymore, is part of what I'm hearing. And that it doesn't have the same significance because it's within him and it's with the people that he's with. So home is a physical place. It doesn't feel like it has the same meaning as it has perhaps for you and I. He's showing me the spot that you've decided on is where he wants to go. It feels like that. It feels really comfortable. And he's showing me something about a bench. And I feel like I'm overlooking something. So if this isn't the spot that you decided on, possibly there's another place to go on the way to the spot that you decided on. But I'm wanting to be able to overlook something, and I feel like I'm sitting potentially as well. There's something significant about a bench. So whatever home may be for your family in the future, it feels like there's opportunity for a bench and somewhere where you can sit and talk and connect with him, because he's showing me that he's always around, he's always available, but he wants to sit. He wants to sit while you guys are connecting. So yeah, the bench feels significant, but home in and of itself is within him. It's within all of you. The place doesn't matter. But being in a place where you can sit and relax and contemplate life and not be focused on like the day to day, that feels like that's really what he wants to create, to allow open opportunity to connect with him. Let's see what messages we've got coming up from your dad. So we have the angel therapy card. This is Archangel Raphael, and his messages: give your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens. I don't know that I could have chosen a better message for you. Because part of what it feels like is there's a lot of weight that is being held. Like, am I doing the right thing, or are we doing the right thing? Are we focusing on what needs to be focused on right now? And the angels are saying, let us take that load so that you can experience being in the moment that you're in right now. And I'm also hearing that your dad is in safe hands now too. Lacey, I'm so glad that you joined us, and I can hardly wait to connect with you once you're home. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support to you and to your family and to your dad as well. Thanks, Lacey. Oh, and my man, not my mom. Well, I guess that your mom is helping as well. And that certainly makes a lot of sense with the message around the voucher. It's possible that he has a voucher that he's going to use. Hi, Lisa. It's great to see you. I'm so glad that you joined us today. Perfect, Bambi. I'm so glad that makes sense. And just saying the kiddo and I had a rough weekend. I'm emotionally tapped out at the moment. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it makes a lot of sense that Archangel Azrael popped in for you and for me and for everybody else, because I feel like we're not the only ones who are experiencing some emotional ups and downs. Pat, it's wonderful to see you. Thanks for joining us. I'm wondering if I should look for a different job or stay where I am, as I'm not a spring chicken. Oh my goodness. When I connect with you and your energy, I see the spring chicken. I see the energy, and it feels like there's still a lot of vitality that you bring to your job and to your work. And I don't see age being something that's going to hold you back either. So let me just ask what's coming up around job. Um, yeah. Yeah, do look for something else, because it feels like you're ready for something else. Work right now feels like it's kind of stagnant, and I feel like I'm ready to take something else on. And I'm also hearing things like you are only as old as you feel, and I know that's kind of cliche, but cliches are cliche for a reason. And it feels like it is time to kind of shake things up a little bit. I want to encourage you not to focus on it too much. So once you make the decision that yes, you're ready to look for something else, just kind of put it out there. Don't look ravenously on the boards or in the papers. It feels like you could let a couple of key people know that you're ready, that you're looking for something. And I suspect that there's going to be something that comes up in your own like social circle, or just beyond your social circle. So kind of that outer edge. So some sort of social connection. And it feels like you're able to do something you really enjoy. I see a lovely schedule. Time and schedule feels like those are really significant things. So I'm not seeing you working to the bone. It feels like you're kind of able to come in and go as you choose and please, because there's a certain amount of freedom and flexibility. So you're definitely not being micromanaged, and it feels like there are kind of tasks that you've been given, also things that you can choose to take on if you want as well. Yeah, I'm seeing you coming into a place where you're really enjoying the work that you're doing. It kind of reminds me of work that I might see for somebody if they were going into a semi-retirement kind of phase. I'm not suggesting that that's where you are, but it just kind of feels like that, where there's not the go, 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 push, push, push that can often come up in the careers that we focus on in our earlier working years, but more like there's a feeling of relaxation. I'm doing something that I enjoy, I'm putting my time in, and then I'm leaving, and I've got other things that I'm focusing on and I'm concentrating on. That whole idea of work-life balance feels like it's coming into play, and that there's potentially something else that you're taking on as a hobby, because now there's time and there's energy, and there's a feeling of kind of new life that's popping up. So yeah, do take a look and see if there's something else. It feels like once you've made the decision that you're ready, I'm seeing something popping up. I mean, this even feels like it's going to be far less time than this, but it feels like it pops up within 3 to 4 months of you deciding that you are ready to look at something else. So yeah, it comes up very easily with very minimal effort. Um, and I love this card. So this is crystal clear intentions. This is Archangel Michael. His message is be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. So Archangel Michael is a really awesome angel to work with because he helps us and supports us with our life path. And certainly work and career is part of life path. It's part of the direction that we're focusing on. And so when he comes up, he's kind of already saying like, let me help you find something. So with the crystal clear intentions, focus on the things that you want to experience in your day, that you want to experience in your work. As I said, schedule feels like it's something that could be significant. Not having somebody watch over you, taking on projects if you choose, having things that you're able to do within a certain amount of time, and then you're able to go and leave at the end of the day, having the time and the energy at the end of the day to focus on things that you enjoy, and potentially even having the desire for a new hobby might be some of the things that you would include in those intentions. It can be really powerful to write those down, and to just put it out there. This is what I'm looking for. This is how I want to feel at the end of the day. It's how I want to feel when I get up in the morning. This is how I want to feel while I'm at work. And this is how I want to feel once I'm home at the end of the night. So yes, please do keep an eye out for something. And good heavens, you are truly much more young and vibrant than I think that you feel. I'm so glad that you joined us this evening, Pat. Thank you for hopping on. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Awesome. Um, Perfect. Okay, so Tia says that's what she's been doing. He's not been giving her much. Yeah, no, my pleasure. I'm so glad that you asked because it was popping into my head. I'm like, oh, I have to send her a message, see how it's going. So I'm glad you hopped on. Don't lose faith just yet. Hi, Shelley. Thanks for joining us. Awesome, Margaret. Thank you. What do I need to know that will help me manifesting a new job opportunity at this time? I love this question. Okay, so I'm being drawn into the moon cycles. And, as we talked about at the beginning of the show, we're coming into the energy of the full moon. The full moon is bringing stuff up to the surface, and it's a wonderful time to acknowledge and to release so that we can then move into a creation process. So, when I work with the energy of the new moon is a time of creation. So, from the new moon to the full moon, take a look at those couple of weeks there and see, okay, well, I may have put intentions out that I wanted to create this. What hasn't come to fruition? What has come up that's maybe been a bit of a block or that has created challenge and difficulty for me? And I want to address that and really to look at it, to acknowledge that it's there. I don't want to brush it under the rug. I want to acknowledge the fact that it's there. It's something that's happening, and it's something that needs to be addressed. And then also what's coming up to the surface that maybe wasn't there over the last lunar cycle that's saying, hey, because it feels like there are some, I don't want to call them blocks because I don't think that they're actually blocks. But it does feel like there are things that perhaps you're seeing and experiencing as being insurmountable or being challenging or being really difficult. And I just want to kind of swoop them off the table. It kind of reminds me of like the love scenes, the sex scenes in the movies where they're in the office and one of them just swipes everything off of the desk and puts her up on the desk and then they do their thing. But that's doing their thing isn't the part. It's the sweeping off of the desk that I'm really drawn to for you. So let's be clear about what everything is and then boom, we're just going to sweep it off and let it go. And so, yeah, being really honest with, okay, so what's happening? Why is this not coming together? What part am I playing in this? And what part am I contributing in this? And what do I feel I need to do in order to move around or to overcome or just to completely ignore? I realize that that's kind of counterintuitive to what I just said, but it feels like that's part of what it is. It's recognizing, hey, you're there. You actually, this voice in my head, this really doesn't mean anything. You go off to the side. You don't really matter. You don't have a say. That's when I say ignore. That's what I'm kind of seeing. What else are we doing? And also I'm seeing you setting a goal for yourself and I'm seeing the number 3 and it feels like you're creating a goal for leads. Each day, each week, I'm going to focus on 3 different leads and I'm going to follow them up. I'm going to look for things that I'm interested in. And my criteria is that 75% of the job fits or 80% of the job fits. And I'm going to start putting it out there that this is something that I'm looking for, that I'm interested in. And it feels like in doing that, you start to build part of the ideal situation. Let's take a look, Margaret, and see what's coming up for you with manifesting a new job. And I feel actually we've got a couple of cards, so I'll be really quick with pulling these cards because I want to be fair to everyone. So interestingly, we've got the crystal clear intentions, Archangel Michael. We just had this card. Be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. I feel like this is a wonderful card to come after the messages that we talked about, go through, do the full moon business, and then create what it is that you're going to put your energy into and what you're going to focus on. Take back your power, Archangel Raziel. Use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. I'm seeing a bit of a theme here. Be really clear and then use that energy to pull that in. Part of the word that I'm hearing, or part of what I'm hearing rather, is magnetize. Instead of searching outwards, focus on bringing it into you. And the last card we have here is leadership. This is Archangel Gabrielle. Her message is it's time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others, and first guiding yourself. So Archangel Gabriel also focuses on communication and expressing yourself and being really clear. And so writing also feels like it's going to play a prominent role in what you're focusing on and what you're doing. So make sure that you are writing these things out and writing the assignments. But you're on the right track, Margaret. Yeah, I'm so grateful that you joined us. Thank you for popping on. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way, lots of manifestation energy, and lots of I can do this energy your way too. Tanya, hello. It's great to see you. Thank you for popping on. Shelly, if you want to ask a specific question, I'd love to connect with you. Okay, you did. You did. I am single. Will I meet someone sometime soon? Let's take a look and see what we've got coming up for you. Shelly. For some reason, I had your name Tanya in my head. What do we have, Shelly? Yes and no. It feels like there's someone that you've met who is maybe kind of hanging around. I'm seeing you not seeing this person as really being an option, but it's being presented to you as an option. So you need to be really clear that this is somebody that you aren't interested in. This could be that this is a relationship that kind of keeps coming in and out of your life. It could be somebody that you're kind of in a situationship with, or that you're relying upon for some needs, but it's not ideally what you're wanting in the long term. Basically, what I'm seeing is you need to clean house, clean it up, clear it out. Anybody that you aren't interested in, be really clear. Cut ties if you need to, have those challenging and difficult conversations, but be really clear that, hey, this isn't going anywhere, and allow that person, to decide whether or not they're going to stay in your life, or you make that decision. But there can be no ambiguity, because it feels right now that there are kind of people who are hanging out as placeholders in case you don't find somebody better, or because you're just not ready to have those conversations with them. The push that's coming up is be really clear. Now is a really good time, as we talked about earlier, to come to that, like to come to the full moon and say, hey, like what's coming up to the surface? What isn't serving me? Which relationships am I putting energy into that I shouldn't be? And that's actually interesting, because that's an additional message about this too. It feels like part of the placeholder may actually be a friend who you don't have a romantic interest in, and they're not romantically interested in you, but in some way they are taking on the emotional role of a romantic partner. So this might be a friendship. This could be a relationship, like a parent-child relationship. It could be some other family relationship. So where are you possibly investing a lot of additional emotional energy into a relationship that maybe you can start to shift, or just even become aware of the fact that there is this dynamic that's going on? Because that's also acting as a bit of a placeholder and a bit of a block to a romantic partner and relationship coming in. So with that is actually kind of a need to make sure that you're taking time to spend on your own, where you are focusing on you and the things that you enjoy doing and the things that are important to you, that are potentially not involving other people, but where somebody else could join you. So take a look at those things. In terms of when, I do see some openings that are coming up. I mean, part of it feels like it has to do with how ready you are to take action on the things that we talked about. But I do see some openings that are coming up through the summer. And I feel like there's somebody who's popping into your life in the fall, if you choose. So there's lots of free will that's coming up here. The person that I'm currently seeing coming into your life feels like they are ready, or will be ready, for partnership and relationship, or certainly to start exploring. I'm not wanting to tag down to this, so I'm not really wanting to make it into like partnership, or we're dating, or we're looking long term. I'm feeling the need to take things really slowly, to build on a friendship level potentially first, and not to rush into things and to jump into things too quickly. But it feels like there's a really beautiful opening that could be coming as soon as this summer or early fall. I did have a card jump out for you, but I feel like I want to pull one more. So the card Love it. The card that just popped out for you, it's victory. This is Archangel Sandalphon. His message is your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. So it feels like, it sounds like this is something that you've been waiting for, that you've been looking towards for quite a while. So know that the angels have heard you, universe has heard you, and they're working. They're helping you to manifest this, to bring this into your life. And the other card, this one popped out while we were talking, is the Archangel Raziel card. And this is take back your power. Use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. So remember that you are more powerful in this situation than perhaps you realize, and that you aren't, this is going to come out wrong, you aren't victim to the circumstances that you are in at the moment. And if there are any thought processes or beliefs that you have right now that has you as in a victim mentality around partnership and relationship, address those now. The person or the type of person doesn't live close to me, or I can't because of X, Y, and Z, or I've done that and that doesn't work for me because of A, B, and C. Focus on being in a powerful, empowered place in your love life, and that will help to bring this partnership and relationship in. Shelley, I'm so grateful that you joined us. Thank you for hopping on this evening. Sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Awesome. Tracy, I'm going to get to you in just a moment. Awesome. And just want to double check if you've been putting in a comment and you haven't asked a specific question, please do so now. Requests for just messages or for cards, I don't do. So I'm giving the heads up right now. Awesome. Tracy, hi. Thanks for joining us. Is there a chance for a relationship for me in the near future? Someone from my past or a new person? Okay, let's take a look, Tracy, and see what we have coming up. Yes, there is possibility, but there's part of me that feels like I need to take a bit of time first. I feel like there's something that I'm getting over, or I'm coming into balance in other areas of my life. I'm feeling the need to kind of take a bit of time before I jump into anything. And part of it feels like I've just been on like a roller coaster, and I feel like my tummy is all over the place. And I just want to take a moment to breathe, to enjoy where I am. And I'm hearing the song School's Out for Summer. What does that mean? When I ask about that, there's a feeling of freedom. There's a feeling of breaking out, breaking free from something that has restricted you, that's held you in a certain routine, and where you're able to relax and you're able to focus on doing the things that you enjoy. So before you start looking for a romantic partner, romantic relationship, make sure that you've allowed yourself to let go of something that has been restricting you, because there's something that is holding you in place. And until you take the time for you to move out of that, it feels like it's actually really difficult to fit a partner into your life. So address that first. In terms of the near future, that's such a relative term. Like, is the near future next week, or is it 6 months from now? I see an opening as we head into the fall. So, and that also ties in with the School's Out for Summer, that you're taking that time for you. So focus on you this summer, the things you want to do. I'm seeing things like getting out to the beach and hitting the water and adventuring and exploring and really recharging yourself this summer. And as we head back into the fall routine, it feels like the routine that you create is different, and it helps to create space and energy for someone new to come in. And also part of helping to invite that in has to do with the time that you're taking during the summer. So the summer is important time for you as we move into Thanksgiving. And I'm seeing Canadian Thanksgiving, which is the beginning of October-ish, second weekend. And then I'm also seeing American Thanksgiving, which is like the third weekend in November, something like that. So Thanksgiving in that area feels like it's significant for bringing someone new in. Sorry guys, I've got mosquitoes here. Yeah, so there is somebody who's coming in, pastor or somebody new. I flip-flop on that. And the reason is it feels like the person who's coming in feels really familiar. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's somebody from your past, but I wouldn't be surprised if this person reminds you of somebody from your past. So there's something about them. I want to say him. The person that I'm seeing is male, and that yeah, there's something that really reminds me about someone I know and someone that you've been attracted to. And it feels like it has to do with mannerisms, possibly the way that he walks or he holds himself or he carries himself or the confidence that he has. He's kind of laid back. It feels like this is something that you were really attracted to in a previous partner. And that's what I'm seeing. So I'm having a hard time saying whether or not it's somebody old or new, because it feels like you know this person, but I think it's someone new. Okay, Tracy, let's take a look and see what card we have. Oh, the Passion card, Archangel Haniel. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. So passion, you being in a place of passion and feeling passionate about yourself, about the things you're doing, how you're living your life is what's going to help invite in partnership and relationship. So again, I go back to that message. This summer is going to be important and significant. It is the summer of Tracy. It's the summer of doing things that you love, that you enjoy, regaining yourself. And that helps to bring in a new partner, a new relationship in the future. You're not doing it for that, though. You're doing it for you. And then the beautiful side benefit to it is that somebody new comes in. Tracy, it's always a pleasure connecting with you. Thank you so much for joining us. Sending big hugs, lots of love, support, and romance angels your way. Awesome. Fabulous. Nola, if you want to ask a specific question, I'd love to connect with you. Oh, Lacey, you're welcome. Good. Lacey says, I think I know the bench. He wanted to go to the bridge that overlooks the river. It's been a rough month. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sending big hugs and so much love and support your way. I think that you're right on with the bench that we were talking about. So for yourself, if you can, go and visit. I don't know what your dad's wishes were, but if you're able to leave part of him there, that feels good as well. But it really feels like this is more for you. So what feels good? Yeah, I'm sending big hugs and love your way. Awesome. Fabulous. Let me see. Pat, you're welcome. It was such a pleasure. Confirms what I've been feeling, but have been feeling limited myself. Yeah, don't take your age seriously. Truly, you're only as old as you feel. I know that's cliche, but it's so incredibly true. And you know what? We do live in an ageist society, but the older that we get, the more that we have to share, the more that we know, the more we understand, and we have the opportunity to take life less seriously. All of those things are a benefit wherever you go. So know that you, as you are now, bring so much to a workplace, and see yourself as being the amazing person that you are. All right, Elizabeth, thanks for joining us. Is hubby going to find some work soon? Nothing but crap. Okay. Let's take a look. So what I'm hearing is he going to find work soon that is worthy of him? Because it feels like he could probably find just anything, but we're talking about something that's quality work. Okay. So I'm frustrated because what I'm initially seeing is September. And that feels like that's much longer than either of you want to wait. I do see something that's coming up in June. It feels like it's so-so. So it kind of feels like it depends on whether or not you guys are able to hold out from financial perspective and from a mental perspective, because being in that rat race of trying to find something that's quality can be really depleting and damaging on the mind and on the spirit and on the heart. So this is completely dependent upon whether or not we can hold out until what I see in September, or we take this thing in June that feels like it's kind of at the 80%, but that we can kind of jump ship and segue over to this thing in September. So there are definitely opportunities that are coming up. As I said, there is something that's coming up in June. It feels like it's okay. It will certainly get him through the summer. It feels like it's something that he can invest in. It feels like it's also something he can do relatively easily. So I would say that he has all of like the credentials and the requirements. And if there is any sort of training, it feels like it's really company specific as opposed to training for the job in and of itself. So that feels positive. It feels like it's something that kind of gets him out there. It gets a bit of routine. And it may also be part of what helps him to piggyback into this thing that I see coming up in September. So is it ideal? No, but it does feel like it will get him to the place that's taking him into something that feels really positive. Now, there are kind of two ways that September comes up. September can come up because that's the starting of the new job, or if he's taking something in June, September is when he becomes aware of the new job. It does feel like it can go both ways. So if he's in a position where he needs to give notice, I see that there's a flexibility with that. But September is what feels really good. And this job that I see coming up then, it feels like it's a really great fit. It feels like it checks off the majority of the boxes, and any of the boxes it doesn't check off doesn't feel like it's going to be that much of a deal breaker. And also I see that there's opportunity for growth. So the things that might not be checked off are okay. Excuse me, in the short term. Now, I don't want to discourage him from taking this thing in June. And I know that sounds kind of funny, but it feels like there are a lot of reasons why it's good for him to take this one in June. First and foremost is it feels like he needs to have something that he's investing in, that he's putting energy in, and potentially that's coming from a financial position, that your family needs something to be coming in order to keep things afloat. But I'm really seeing this coming up from the perspective of like mental, emotional, having something that he can invest in. And it's also kind of a little bit like a relay race. When you're running a relay race, if you're the second person who's going to take the baton from the previous runner, you don't take the baton while you're standing still. You start running before that runner comes up to you. And when the baton is passed to you, you're already in motion. So in taking this job that feels like it's coming up in June, it puts him in motion, and it may even be the thing that connects him with whatever's coming up for this other job. The potential is there that it's within the structure and the organization that he's hiring into, and this position comes up, and that's the thing that's perfect. That's possible. So the June opportunity feels like it's important. As I said, it feels like it ticks off about 70 to 80% of the boxes. So it's not ideal, but it feels like it gets him in. It gets him in and it gets him going. Okay, Elizabeth, let's see what card is coming up for you. Oops, actually, hold on. We have two. Just a second. So we have a jumper. So we have the Moon Cycles card. This is Archangel Haniel. I'm surprised she hasn't come up sooner because, good heavens, this is something we've been talking about all night. Notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize upon these cycles. When this card comes up, it says you need to pay attention to the energy of the moon. So we do have the full moon that's coming up this weekend. This is a great time to acknowledge and to recognize the things that aren't working, the things that you're ready to let go of, maybe recognizing emotions that you've been holding on to, belief systems you've been holding on to, patterns that are no longer serving you. Recognize these and start coming up with like plans and solutions. And how are you going to do things better? What are you going to focus on instead? This is the time to start making those resolutions. And then as we come into rather the energy of the new moon, it's 14 days, give or take. So we'll go into a couple of weekends from now, I guess Father's Day-ish weekend. And that's the new moon. That's all about manifestations, fresh starts, new beginnings, putting your energy out there for what it is that you're looking for, what you're ready to focus on, and start to build with that. So focus on that energy. Teaching and learning was the other card that popped out for you. This is Archangel Zadkiel, and his message is keep an open mind and learn new ideas, then teach these ideas to others. So potentially there is a teaching aspect that's coming up with the work that he's going to be doing, some form of training. But I think actually the message in that was to keep an open mind. And again, I go back to that checklist. where it feels like we're looking at 70 to 80% of what he's looking for. It's not ideal, but it's better than what's been coming up, and it's also going to put him in a better spot. Elizabeth, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us this evening. Thank you for hopping on. Sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to take a really quick look here because I had asked Nola. Thank you, Nola. Okay, Nola's asking about her health. Will my health get better? It feels like there are ways in which your health is already starting to improve. I'm seeing things that, there are things that you're thinking about doing. I love it. I know this one very well as well. There are things that you're thinking about doing, but you may not have started with them just yet. So the encouragement is if something's popping up for you to make a change, to make an adjustment, to incorporate something or to take something out, pay attention to that and do it. There's no point in getting intuitive messages and information if you're not going to take action on the message that's there. And, I say that kind of flippantly, but that is one of the biggest challenges that I see people coming up against is they get the message and the information that, yeah, there's something that I need to do. And then we don't do it. So pay attention to that and take action because it really is going to have an impact on your overall health and well-being. The other thing that I'm seeing is in addition to some of the things that you've been looking at changing, I am feeling the need for temporary outside help. So this could come in the form of like Western medicine. This could be naturopathic medicine. This could be acupuncture or some form of alternative medicine. But it does feel like there is something that you're needing a bit of outside support in order to bring your body back into balance. They're showing me that there are still things that you're going to be dealing with. But I also feel like these are kind of your superpowers. So I try not to share too much on the show, but I'm going to share this with you because it feels like it's a relevant example. So one of the things that I experience is something called PMDD. It stands for premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And basically it means I experience incredibly brutal PMS that has me going on an emotional roller coaster for the majority of the month. In terms of ratings, I would give it 0 out of 10 stars. Do not recommend. It's not great at all. And it's something that I've dealt with for the last 30 years, though it certainly wasn't diagnosed then. But what I found is that it's become a superpower for me. It's because of the things that I've learned to do to support myself in the ups and downs that I go through. It's actually helped to create a superpower because I have to focus on things. I can't let things go because otherwise I don't function. And so part of what I'm seeing for you, Nola, is something that's really similar. It feels like there is something that you continue to deal with. And it feels like it's challenging and it's frustrating as all get out. But it feels like part of coming into balance with it is something that helps you immeasurably in the long run. And so part of feeling better actually feels like it has to do with a bit of a switch in perception and how you're seeing the experience that you're going through. Because it feels like possibly this thing doesn't necessarily go away. Your ability to deal with it gets better. And as you deal with it, life overall in general gets better. So your health is definitely improving. A big part of it has to do with what you're doing. So again, those things you're thinking about doing, the things you're thinking about implementing, do it because it's going to make a difference. Make sure you're getting outside help as well, because at least for the short term, you're going to need a little bit of extra help and support. There's no shame in that because it's part of what's going to help you get better. But then the last piece of it is it feels like part of it is coming to the understanding that maybe there's an aspect of it that doesn't go away, but that you learn how to live with it, you learn how to deal with it, and not only that, but it becomes your superpower. It becomes the thing that helps to make you better in the long run. And part of the reason that you're experiencing it is probably because it's part of the learning lessons that you're going through. So yes, your health does get better and it does improve, but I really want to empower you to be the person who is doing the majority of the improvement because you have the resources that you need, and what you don't have, reach out and ask. One of the things that's popping up, and particularly if you've had any challenges with the medical system, I can certainly appreciate that. Call on Archangel Raphael and ask him for help and support in guiding you and directing you to the resources that you need. So to the people who have the knowledge, the education, and the access to the things that will help to support you in your healing journey, in your growing journey. And also helping them to listen to the things that you're dealing with the challenges that you're experiencing, and help to in that healing process and in that healing journey. So please call on Archangel Raphael, ask him for help and support in bringing those resources to you or showing you where to find them. Okay, let's just see what we've got coming up, Nola. Interesting. So we've got Archangel Haniel again, and her message is all about passion. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. I'm going to put love life and career on hold because I want to focus on the renewed passion that you have in you, in your overall health and well-being. Part of what I'm seeing is that your energy levels might fluctuate a little bit. So when you do have energy, make sure that you're focusing on the things that you really love and you really enjoy. And how do I say that? Sometimes when our energy levels are depleted or they're not as high as we think they should be, or perhaps what we've experienced in the past, when we do have energy, we throw everything into the things that need to be done. And certainly there's an importance in that, but of equal importance is making sure that you're doing things that you love, that you enjoy, and that you're passionate about, because those are the things that help to build your energy, so you have more energy to put into the things that need to get done. So also pay attention to how you are investing your energy. Nola, I'm so glad that you joined us. Thank you for hopping on this evening. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Awesome. Dale. Now, I feel like I've just seen, no, we didn't answer your question. I think, Dale, did we maybe connect? We may have connected on Sunday. Okay, let's take a look. Will I meet someone soon? Okay, I'm going to assume that you're talking about romantic partnership and relationship. So that's what I'm going under. I mean, yeah, you are going to meet someone soon. But I don't think this is the person that you're really looking for. So it all depends on what it is that you're looking for. The majority of people who are asking me questions like this are specifically wanting like their lifetime partner relationship. And so I do see you meeting someone, but I don't think it's going to be this lifetime partner relationship that many people are looking for. It feels like this is somebody that you really enjoy spending time with, who, you have lots of fun with. You guys have really great conversations. Somebody that you enjoy, somebody who respects you. The sense that I have is that you don't have the same overall long-term goals. And it feels like that's why this person isn't the person for you. And I want to encourage you to still explore this relationship, because there's something that's really valuable in it, even if it's not that overall long-term relationship partnership that you're really wanting, that you're really ready for, because this is part of how you get to that one. So as long as it's somebody who treats you well, that you enjoy spending time with, who kind of turns the crank, so to speak, take 6 months and enjoy being with this person. Live in the moment and enjoy what that is. It doesn't feel like you're missing out on anything by not having this experience, but good grief, you miss out on a lot if you choose not to have it. So it doesn't feel like this is your long-term person, but they're still really valid and worthwhile. And still, it makes a lot of sense to experience them. This person does feel like they're coming in within the next 3 or 4 months. So it's not super soon, but it's also not, light years away. Yeah, I want to say late August, early fall. So I'm not getting a really, straightforward answer here. We've got some jumpers. I want to say late August into sometime in October is the timeline that I'm seeing you connecting with this person. Maybe there's a certain amount of back and forth flip-flop. Like, do I want to spend time with this person? Do I not? Like, they're really clear up front that we're not looking for the same things. But as I said, go for it. So we've got a couple of cards. I'm going to go through all of them really quickly. The first card is Archangel Azrael, and this is all about comfort. I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. So possibly part of the reason that this kind of interim person's coming up is because there's still some healing you need to do. I look at relationships, and there's only so much healing that we can do being single. We need to be in relationship and partnership for some of those triggers to come up for us to be able to address them. This could be a healing relationship. The moon cycles card, Archangel Haniel. So notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestation, and capitalize upon these cycles. So start paying attention to how you feel at the full moon, at the new moon. How does your energy flow and fluctuate? For people who have menstrual cycles, our cycles should line up and sync up with the energy of the moon. And that can also indicate like where our energy is too. Interesting. And we've got Archangel Shamuel with career transition. It wasn't something we were talking about. Your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. Could also be part of the reason that we have a relationship that feels like it's kind of temporary, because we've got other stuff going on, and we want to focus on something that's, not detracting from other things that are important at the moment. So Dale, lots that's going on, lots to consider. I'm so incredibly grateful you joined us this evening. Thank you so much. Sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Awesome. And Margaret, you're welcome. It's always a pleasure connecting with you. Let me see. We've got Ruth. Hello. It's so good to see you. Let me see. Oh, Maxine, it's so good to see you too. Thanks for joining us. And Tanya, hello. Wonderful. Let me see. Okay, we've got Ruth here. Hi, Ruth. Thanks for joining us. Do you see me well enough to go back to work by the fall? Yes, absolutely. One of the things that I'm seeing with that is it feels like we're going back on some form of reduced basis. So I don't know if possibly you're doing, part work at work and maybe part at home, or if there's a certain amount of flexibility, or you've got X number of days in the office and then Y number of days that you're spending at home. I want to say graduated is what we're doing. We're doing some form of graduated return. One of the things that feels really awesome is that I see your workplace being very open to accommodating you with whatever it is that you need. They're really excited at the possibility of you coming back, and it feels like they have a certain amount of flexibility in terms of what that looks like. So the roundabout answer that I have for you is yes, it does feel like you are well enough to go back to work in some way, and that just continues to build. I'm feeling a lot of celebration coming up for you as we start to move into the later part of fall and the early part of winter. I wanted to say specifically Christmas, but it feels a little bit earlier than that. And it feels like at that point, you're kind of feeling like you're back to you and your energy and your overall routine. So it is taking a little bit of time, but I'm hearing that it's worth it, and that you do have the energy and resources that you need to support yourself in the healing that you're continuing to go through, and still support the day-to-day life and function of work, and just being the awesome human that you are. All right, let's take a look and see what card is popping up for you, Ruth. I'm hearing the Archangel Shamuel card, career transition, not because you're changing work and career, but possibly because this is also triggering some sort of change in terms of the jobs that you're doing within the current role and position you have, and that feels exciting. So the card that we have for you is You Know What to Do. This is Archangel Uriel, and his message is trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. So part of what that says to me is that you will know when you're ready. I'm feeling a little bit of hesitation. So it feels like you'll know when you're ready to start getting back, but it's kind of like you're feeling overly cautious. And so I want to encourage you to have a conversation with your employer or with your manager. And graduated feels like it's going to be really important, so that you are able to kind of dip your toe in, and you are able to build your energy back up, because it feels like the energy that you're expending expending now is going out in a really different way than it will when you're going to work. When I look at the volume of energy that's going out, they feel like they're the same, because what you're doing now is a huge amount of energy, and it's a huge amount of work, and you're just putting that same energy out in a different way, and there will be a bit of a balancing back and forth. So keeping conversation open with your employer and with management is going to make all the difference in the world. But you're going back in the fall, which feels awesome. Ruth, I'm so glad that you joined us. Thank you so much for popping on. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and healing and support your way. Awesome. Oh, Tanya, you're welcome. It's such a pleasure to connect with you. Let me see. Tracy, you're the best too. Sending big hugs your way. Let me see. Have we come to the end? Janess is saying, my sister is quite ill. I'm wondering if she will recover. So as soon as I connect with your sister, I've got a lot that's coming up in my chest. I don't know specifically if that's the area of concern that she's dealing with right now, but I'm kind of wondering about emotionally what's happening in her chest. Grief is often held in our chest and in our lungs in particular. And I'm really wanting to focus on what's happening for her from an emotional level, because I'm feeling the need to do a lot of emotional processing right now, but the focus feels like it's emphasis is really on the physical. Energetically, she's feeling tired. And I don't have a straightforward answer for you, in part because I don't ask about people's passings, for a variety of different reasons, but it feels like that's part of what you're asking. So what I want to say to that is it does feel like it's really important to make sure that we're focusing on emotional health and well-being for her, because emotion can be mentally, physically, and emotionally draining. And she's needing all of the resources and the reserves that she has to go into healing on a physical level. Like, this sounds like the things that you would do when you're saying goodbye, but that's not the intention with it. I'm wanting to make sure that there's a clean slate, a clear slate between the two of you, and offering her a lot of peace in maybe other emotional experiences that she has, that she's going through, possibly questions around relationships or partnerships or other things, not from a passing experience, but more so that it's not on her mind, it's not on her plate, so she can focus on what she needs to do in order to be healthy and in order to be well. Yeah. Let's just ask what message we have for Janess and for her sister. What does she need to know? What do they need to know? So we have Archangel Azrael. It's so funny. The card here is counselor. You are a natural counselor, and many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. And it feels like that is the direction to focus on for your sister right now, is providing that counsel and that support. You can call on Archangel Azrael. It's Azrael, and ask him for help and support in that, in healing on mental and emotional level. So she doesn't need to hold on to it. It's not needed. Janess, I'm so grateful that you joined us this evening. Thank you so much for hopping on. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love, support, and healing to you, and to your sister. And may there be much more time for the two of you together. Thanks for joining us. Awesome. Let me see. Baby. So that's what I want to focus on. This is interesting because baby is being presented to me in a couple of different ways. Baby is being presented to me both in terms of like physical human baby, but also in the form of like a puppy baby. So I'm flip-flopping. Would you be open to both? I do feel that there is new energy, that there's new love that's coming into your life. There is a feeling of opening that's happening. I'm feeling lots of up and down that's coming up around this. And there's part of me that's resisting and having a difficult time um, hoping for something for a new baby. And I kind of want to address that. I'm I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. That's what I'm hearing. We want to focus on I'm ready for this. So taking time to grieve the possibilities that didn't come to fruition, and and coming into a place where I'm ready. I do feel like we have opening that's coming up. I still feel like we've got this deep grieving that's popping in, and I want to acknowledge that, to allow for it, and then we're creating space for the ready. And um, I feel like we've talked about this before. I've got June, July, August coming up as being really significant months, and things really starting to come together, starting to rev up as we move into September. So, I mean, we could be looking at conception in June, and we're just kind of crossing our fingers through those first couple of months, and then in September feels like, hey, we're able to start celebrating that, yes, we have new life on the way. Or it could be that in September we're like, yeah, now is the time, we're ready and let's go. But I feel like we've got another shot that's coming up. I'm feeling a lot of excitement that's coming up, and also a calm, like a feeling of I'm ready for this. Yeah, I'm ready. But coming from a place of calm rather than a place like we're reaching and we're grabbing. There is something that's coming up around pets too. Not that that's not the baby that's coming in, but I want to focus on pets and the fur babies that are here, because that's part of what's bringing joy as well. Let's see, Tracy. We'll pull a card. Oops, and see what's coming up for you. We've got clairsentience. This is Archangel Raguel, and his message is notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. So, part of what I want to encourage you to do is to go through the experience of, I was going to say, like, feeling the conception. Um, that's maybe a bit weird, but it feels like we're going into advanced visualization. Like we're seeing the plays in the game, and we're visualizing them, and we're visualizing the pass and catching the pass. And I don't know anything about football, but that's how it's being represented to me, is we're going ahead and we're seeing it and we're feeling, what does it feel like to be in that experience? And we're inviting that experience in, paying attention to those feelings that are coming up, that are helping us to navigate the next couple of months and what we're going through. And I feel the need to also call on Archangel Raguel and ask him for help and support in feeling the excitement building of new life. Also want to encourage you to connect with Archangel Haniel, because she helps and supports us with um, building and growing those feelings. She is the archangel who is most closely tied and connected with women, particularly as it relates to our hormones and reproductive systems and our intuition. So call on Archangel Haniel, ask her for help and support. Connect with the energy cycles of the moon. We've got the full moon coming up this weekend. In a couple of weeks, we'll have the new moon, and come into a place of like honoring and recognizing those cycles that we go through, and connect with that life force energy that has been so prevalent for millennia, coming into going around the world. Oh my goodness, my brain is starting to starting to fog. Tracy, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us this evening. I've been thinking about you. I will be emailing you in the next couple of days. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way, and lots of gratitude that you joined us today. You guys, I think that that's a really clear sign that my mind is going and we should call it a night. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure connecting with you. I'm Erin Lee of heavenlymessenger.com. I will not be back next Tuesday as I'm teaching Developing Intuition course this weekend, and I know I'm going to need next Tuesday off. Also, just a really quick little note, effective June the 15th, so in a couple of weeks, my rates will be increasing. It's been several years since they've increased, and so the time is now. I am booking into the end of June, but gift certificates at the current rates are still available online. They are good for phone, Skype, and Zoom readings. I'm not seeing people in person yet, and I don't know when I will be. So gift certificates are only for phone, Skype, and Zoom. They aren't available for in-person because there are going to be things changing once I do start offering readings in person, and it just doesn't make sense. So gift certificates are available for distance readings on my website, bookingwitherin.com. I think is /gift certificates. It's on the front page. You can find it. And you can also book your own personal reading there as well. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. And I'm so looking forward to connecting with you again in the future. Have a wonderful evening. Oh, and a happy full moon too.